Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I want to chat about Year 4 of The Division 2, which I know may sound strange because we're now only just past the halfway mark of Year 3, and we're still waiting to see what the big Year 3 update for The Division 2 is going to bring to the game. But a recurring notion that I've seen in the comments of my past few videos is that a lot of people are saying that they're convinced that despite the uphill battle that us, the community, and Ubisoft themselves fought to course correct Division 2 and go forward with making new content after originally deciding not to, that people are convinced this coming update will be the only product of that movement, essentially saying they're confident that this coming update for The Division 2 will now be the last update and the final content for the game. And apart from the usual pessimism people bring to the discussion when talking about Division, I'm not entirely sure why people are so convinced about this, so that's what I want to discuss today. Let's dive in. So let me just say this right off the bat. None of us in the public community know what's going to happen in 2022 or Year 4. Hell, no one even knows anything about the new content that we're supposed to be getting in 2.5 months, let alone next year. That said, there are hints and just patterns of what we've seen so far with Year 3's development that I think paint a pretty good picture of what we can expect moving forward. But of course, this is all just speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. I would say the only tangible evidence we have to tip the scales of this discussion one way or the other is a comment that Yves Guillemot made, who, if you don't know, hopefully I'm saying his name right, is the CEO of Ubisoft, and I'll leave a link in the top corner of the video I did covering all the evidence and info we have about Division 2's Year 3 thus far, and in that video I cover and show this comment I'm about to relay of his, so if you want more details, go and check that out. But basically, back at the start of the year was when we got our first info and announcement about more Division 2 content, right? It all began with the Ubisoft Q1 investors call, where during the Q&A section, an investor asked about the future of the Division 2, to which Yves replied, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said there will be more content for the Division 2 in 2021 and 2022. Now, at its surface, that might sound pretty definitive, and though I believe personally that we're going to get more content in 2022 after this update, his one mention there isn't foolproof. For one, back in late February, early March when this went down, UB and Massive themselves were very unsure about the release window for this big update that they were teasing. They said optimistically it would release by the end of calendar 2021, but they would delay into 2022 if necessary. So perhaps Yves' wording was just to align with that uncertainty. Now, ever since that point earlier in the year, their messaging has done nothing but solidify around a late 2021 calendar release, aka December. And if you need more info on that, again, I encourage you to check out that video I did. I'll also link it in the description. So while it looks as though we're getting this update in 2021, maybe Yves was just considering the uncertainty. Also, who's to say what he considers new content, right? For all we know, he was referencing seasons 5 through 7. Which are just reruns of seasons 1, 2, and 3 as far as content for 2021. Even though we know that those are simply reruns with a new name, nothing says that Yves necessarily knew that distinction or even cared, and that could have been what he was referring to for new content in this year, like I said. And then maybe he was thinking the update would actually drop in 2022, so that would cover both of those years. That's certainly possible. So just in fairness, I think those two caveats could explain his wording if we don't end up getting more content beyond this coming update. But now to look at it from another angle, assuming we do get the new content in December, what could he have been referring to for Division 2 content in 2022? Could it just be more updates and more stuff for Year 4? I think so personally, but there's one other way we could look at it, so let me cover that first. That being, there has been a rumor or speculatory claim floating around for quite a while now that's certainly not impossible, so I want to entertain the idea that it has a chance to happen, and that's the idea that the big update we're going to get, and we've been getting teases for all this year, could be split into two parts. So for example, maybe the build variety and viability changes that they teased and rumored for the general gear reworks and balancing stuff, that would come out this year. So fulfill the 2021 calendar claim, and then more of the actual new content stuff that was promised, like the new game mode and potentially other stuff, would come out in 2022, maybe March or whenever. I myself was told this rumor way back earlier in this year, and I assume that's when a lot of people heard about it, but I haven't heard anything since. So while I don't really think it's going to happen, it's obviously not impossible. And perhaps this is a strategy that Massive relayed to UB early on, and this is what Yves was referring to when he said the Division 2 content in both 2021 and 22. So that's one option. And all of those things I mentioned are ways his words could indicate anything other than more actual new content for Year 4. But now let's talk about the idea itself, because this is what I personally believe, and I'll give a bit of my reasoning as to why that is. But again, it's all just speculation on my part. Myself nor anyone else in the community truly knows what's going to happen. But first off is the season. So it's pretty much been confirmed that we're getting a new season with this new update. Again, if you need proof, go check that linked video in the description. But why would they really bother with things if they were just going to make one new season? At that rate, why not come up with a different type of content than something that people have been kind of mixed on? As far as, things have gone over time. No, I think that if nothing else, we'll get a succession of new seasons throughout year 4, probably alongside other larger updates and pieces of content, but at least those throughout the duration of the 4th year, maybe up until March of 2023, because that's when year 4 would end. Also, why build an entirely new team if you're just doing one update? I understand this part of things is primarily up to Ubisoft, but even on their end, why would they really go through the trouble of structuring a new, mini team at Massive and pairing them with UB Bucharest if they're just doing one update? An update that I'm still thinking will be free. That's not confirmed. There's nothing suggesting really that it'll be free or paid. I'm just inclined to think it's going to be free. And if that's the case, where's the financial incentive? Ubisoft is a business. Profit is their ultimate goal. And if seeing Warlord's success is what kicked them in the head enough to realize the Division is a profitable IP, then why would they bother with all of this for one free update? If they wanted financial success to come from this endeavor, then they're going to have to convince players to return and stick around for the long term. And obviously, there's no better way to develop that long-term engagement than saying, hey, this update is just the first of more content that is on the way in 2022. So, just to reiterate, assuming this update will be free, I see no explanation as to why Ubisoft would bother with reconstructing this entire development of the game if it was only going to receive this singular content drop. Rather, I think we're going to hear about continued Division 2 content into 2022 and perhaps beyond. Whether that means more substantial updates or just seasonal content, I don't know, but I do think we'll see something. And I don't see the Division 2 going anywhere anytime soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts about this whole discussion about potential 2022 Division 2 content. Do you think we'll see more from the Division 2 after this next major update, or do you think this is it? And why Ubisoft might have been inclined to do any of this if you think that's the case. Certainly leave all of that down below. I'm very curious to hear people's thoughts on this, as I know it's been a very opinionated topic as of late. So yeah, very interested to hear what people have to say. But yeah, everyone, that is going to do it for me. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.